Hey there, folks. Welcome back to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. How's everybody doing? Get the good old GC working. Guess we should probably do that first thing. How would I characterize today? Today was, I always use the word interesting, but it so much so that I feel like it kind of loses its pizzazz after I use it so much. And, can use other words, but I mean, first Monday back from vacation, it was maybe challenging's a better word. I don't know. It probably is. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot to talk about. We can move more to 6 stars finally. I feel like we've been working on Mara for like a while, but it's just because we've had to like start and stop because there were some gaps that needed to be filled in on the accounts, and wanted to kind of do that first. Oh my gosh. Let's buy the Mother Talzine since I didn't land anything. It's not acceptable. But Mother Talzine is the last character. If you remember back when I set up this whole rubric, I guess, of where I was like, hey, we're gonna, we're still, by the way, we're still gonna finish these 2 jabronis up top, but we're getting closer with the Mara Palgat team. And we have our CLS team, beautiful right there. We've got the relic, they're in relics. Then we have the sisters here. It's the last piece is Mother Talzine, and then we can, start working on them. And then, of course, we have this flirtation with Starkiller, but we're basically almost, we're not basically almost, well, we're closer, We do have to go after Dash, or Cash Rendar at some point. And then after that, it's, obviously we're farming Captain Han right now. And, Lobot is also Canteen Farm, but Rolo is, Rolo's obviously shop or missions that the skill does not go to do. Get the Rex done. We can do Drogon. Drogon's also Cantina, right? I feel like. And then Scout Trooper, who I didn't realize is at 5 stars, is in the fleet. And then, that's basically all of our requirements for Leia. With the Stark Killer and this Night Sisters and all of these ancillaries. But we just need these guys. And like I said, Cantina, Fleet, Fleet, Cantina, and then it's just a matter of relicking. But then there's this team which obviously is just relics. There's this team which we may flow into for for what am I thinking about? For Revan, after we finish with Mother Talzine. And then, when you get to there's this team, which is an assault battle team. There's this team for Darth Revan. There's this assault battle team. There's the Bad Batch. There's Galactic Republics. There's Helpers. There's Inquisitors. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do after we finish with. We'll finish the farm with Mother Talzine. It's nuts. It's not a great time to talk about that, but it's not like we're close anyway, because we're still sitting here working on Sidious, and then working on what's his name? So that's done. So now we can graph this and do it like this. And we're getting closer with Sidious a little bit daily. Everybody, but we are out of the three accounts, out of the three bigger accounts on that I have with the Hyperlight and the original account. The original account was done first. I think I just finished the trio yesterday or a couple of days ago on my Hyperlight account for this trio, but this account is the furthest away. It's we're still a character and a half away, because we need to finish what's his face here, Darth Sidious, and then we gotta jump over and start on what's his face with Newt. And like I said, there's no waste here working on these guys. It's just but I don't know. We're gonna get places. It's just not soon. Do I want to talk about anything today? I don't know. I did a pretty lengthy post on Facebook talking about a few things I've been wrestling with. And honestly, I've been wrestling with one of them for since I moved to the States over 20 years ago. I've been wrestling with this, and the other one I've just been wrestling with for the past 9 years. And I say, we've been wrestling with this for over 20 years, and then I've only been wrestling with this other one for the past 9 years. But and that's pinging broadly on both things for me. But it basically came down to the fact that a year ago in October, so we're not close there. So it's been 10 months. And I think you probably I don't know if I talked about it at the time. If I did, it would be episode 150, somewhere around there. But and I probably didn't talk about it, but we had a evangelist come to our church, and he did a revival, and it was 4 days, and it shook everybody up in a good way. And if you've never And when I say revivalist, people immediately go to the guys that you see on TV. And this guy was not this guy at all. First of all, he's young enough to be my son. And but he came in and he's 26. I'm a little bit older than that. But came in and I don't know how to say this. Right, but he just I'm going to say some words that you may or may not be familiar with. And they're just stained glass words for other words. And I could dumb it down, but it's like I don't really know how to. But this guy, he just came in, told some truths, put some things in very relatable context. And it hit me pretty hard. And at the time, we had just started going to the church that we go to, that we've been at for the past year. And they introduced this new song into our lexicon that some of you may or may not be familiar with. And the song is called, I think, the version that I'm familiar with, because there's a lot of different versions of this song. But the one that I know the best is Maverick City and The Upper Room. And it's Dwayne Bowe, and he's part of it, and the guy from The Upper Room. I don't know his name. I apologize. But it's a power song. And it talks about, I was wandering, and then I met a man, and he told me that I was not alone. He changed my heart. He changed my name. Forever free, I'm not the same. I thank the Master. I thank the Savior. I thank God. And in the bridge, I think it is, he talks about, so long to my old friends, burdens and bitterness. You can keep on moving. You're not welcome here. And a lot of it, at the time, I was battling a lot with bitterness and burdens, with my own bitterness and burdens to what I felt was to help people more than they want to help themselves. So if you're watching this and you're like, well, you say stuff, but and the truth is, you can ask for help from anybody, but unless you're willing to accept what they're saying to you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? So if you ask somebody for life advice and they give you life advice, you can be like, oh, that's nice. But ultimately, it's only good if you look at it and you take it seriously and you accept it. I was watching a movie when we were on vacation. So we're sitting there and we're watching, and it's raining, and my cousin turned on Jungle Cruise. I had never seen this movie, Jungle Cruise, before. I knew about it, but I had just never seen it. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm about to say. But if not, you should probably. I mean, it's worth a watch. It's not The Force Awakens, or it's not Return of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker. Whatever. The Rise of Skywalker. I don't know. whatever. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's good. It's good. It's a good show. And then he's early to middle in the movie. He's Dwayne Frank Wolf. Frank Wolf is antagonizing Lily Houghton, played by Emily Blunt, and he's like, "Why are you trying to?" She's like, "Why are you trying?" Something to the effect of, "Why are you trying to scam me?" And Frank goes, "It's only a scam if you fall for it." Meaning, if you don't fall for it, then it's not a scam. And but for whatever reason, stuff happens, and he ends up changing character in the movie, and they end up falling in love, and blah blah blah, and all this fun stuff. But he's just kind of this swindler very early in the movie, and then gradually he grows. But the idea of it's only a scam if you fall for it. It's only advice if you take it. If you don't take it, then what good is the advice? What good is going anywhere? What good is going to church? What good is reading the Bible or anything if you don't take it and you don't really ingest it and let it flow through you and let it change you? Because where in the movie, Frank Wolf is trying to scam Lily into not chasing this treasure. She didn't fall for it because she knew the truth was that he was trying to scam her. But the problem is, and this is like, I gave somebody advice the other day: find a good church. What's the first person? And in today's day and age, it's a little dicey to find a good church. I would say you may want to look for a CREC church. And that can be hit or miss. And if you don't know what that is, just whatever. I'm sure you can Google it. I'm sure you can ask me whatever. But we don't have one of those around here, and so I found a church for us that's really good, because all the other ones that I've been to around here are problematic, and it's not like they're lying to people. To me, it's more like cherry picking. It's more like one of them is just teaching Sunday school in church. And if you've never been, if you didn't go to Sunday school, you don't know what that means. And oddly enough, a lot of the churches we go to around here don't have a dedicated Sunday school hour. Because we went to a church for many years, and it's not a bad church. It's here in town. And so you go there and you get there at 9:00 and you have Sunday school. And then after that, you still have church. And I've got no problem with that. But the problem I do have is in Sunday school, you're going to, like, I don't want to say dumb down, but it's more of a 101 type introduction to, or a lower level of teaching. in church is supposed to be where you get hard-hitting, action-forming stuff. And for whatever reason, we've been to a number of churches who just go to the pulpit because they don't have a Sunday school class, and they do Sunday school from the pulpit. And there's definitely a time and a place for it. But when that is not when it's not during church. And I tried to talk to the pastor. Me and the pastor have been friends, and I tried to tell him this. And there are people that you can just say stuff to that you think you have a really good relationship with, but then you find that they're maybe not who they say they are. And that's something that's always bothered me, because I've always strived to be the exact same person everywhere. I try to make it a point of my life to be the exact same person on this camera that I am in real life. Now, obviously, and in fact, that's, as I'm growing, as I'm learning more, I just felt it was time. And so that's the reason I started saying stuff that I started doing. And, but anyway, this pastor, he's got his own thing going on. And me saying that kind of upset the apple cart. And so we had a little, been trying to get them to move on. And we were sitting there in church, and things didn't work out of this church for reasons that I don't want to get into at this point. But then we ended up going to another church and just sitting for a little while. And then we finally went to this church. And this church, it's a good church if the Sunday you're going, they're talking about something that makes you uncomfortable. And what was different, what was interesting about this church is there are a lot of churches that say that this particular thing is not used today. And being from the background that me and my wife grew up in, it was like, uh-oh. But I knew enough to be like, let's just go back and let's see. Let's give this church a month and see what happens. And it turns out that we were just there. The first Sunday we were there, it just happened to be what I call Weird Sunday. And that's another thing that people need to be aware of, is there's this thing that exists called Weird Sunday. It's where you happen to show up at church on the one Sunday when they're just doing something new or crazy, or it's just they have a guest speaker, or they have any number of things, and you just happen to be there on that Sunday. It can be graduation Sunday. It could be move up to next grade Sunday. It can be any number of things. And sometimes you get there and it just happens to be Word Sunday. That doesn't, if you end up there on a Word Sunday, that doesn't mean you should run away. It means that you just might need to give it another month or so. You just might need to give it another month or so. And sometimes, it's sometimes it'll work out. Sometimes it might not work out. But you can't let that discourage you. And you've got to find where it is that you belong. And generally speaking, that doesn't take too long. But as always, there's a solid chance that I lost a lot of you. Hopefully I didn't lose too many of you. Hopefully you got something out of this, as I'm just sitting here talking about life and playing the Star Wars game at the same time. But this is like, it's like, why wouldn't you? Why can't we just sit here to talk about things? Why do we have to be so serious all the time? And for me, this is just, it's like, of course I'm going to talk about this, because why not? And as always, I hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, comments, concerned about the account, about what I'm doing in game, about what I'm saying, about anything, just, I'm here. Leave me a comment. It might, I'm back from vacation now, so it's going to be 2 weeks before I'm going to see it. But you know how it is. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Hold the line, and maybe we'll talk more about this speaker that came to speak to us tomorrow. Till then, God bless. Bye.